Disney's 7th theme park resort is officially being built in Abu Dhabi. Well, maybe. We've seen theme park announcements like this before. In 2007, Universal took to the stage and announced Universal Studios Dubailand, a brand new resort located in the United Arab Emirates. At a cost of $2.2 billion, this immense undertaking would be spread across 20 million square feet and would include 12 attractions with 4 roller coasters and 2 water rides. The project broke ground in July of 2008 and then nothing. It was expected to open in 2010 to 5 million guests, but in 2016, it was announced that Universal Studios Dubailand was officially cancelled. Six Flags Dubai is another project which saw a similar fate. This was a licensing deal of the Six Flags name and brand with local company Tatware, scheduled to open in 2011, but in 2010, Six Flags terminated their agreement with the license holder for failure to make payment. The United Arab Emirates almost feels cursed in this regard. It was meant to be a theme park haven populated with the biggest names in the industry. Now, almost 20 years later, the UAE has seen plenty of theme parks. But aside from Warner Brothers World in Abu Dhabi, none of these theme parks carry the name of the heavy hitters that hold significant weight in the tourism industry.
And it's not like the UAE hasn't tried before. We have a whole video on the rumored Disneyland Dubai. A few years back, concept art leaked regarding this project, adding some validity to a potential resort in the region. But it turns out that it was commissioned by some contractors hoping to convince Disney to invest in the area, and Disney was never actually on board. Negotiations between the two brands never eventuated into anything more than the leaked concept art. But if that topic does interest you, be sure to check out our whole video where we cover it. It appears though that Disney's lack of status in the area is about to change. On the 7th of May 2025, it was announced that Abu Dhabi would be the location of Disney's next international theme park. Now, despite Disney being in the name, this is not a Disney project. In a rather shocking turn, Disney is licensing their brand and designs to the Miral Group, an Abu Dhabi-based company which operates many of the existing theme parks and resorts on Yas Island. We haven't seen an arrangement like this since the Tokyo Disney Resort, which is similarly licensed to the Oriental Land Company. Now, that deal back in the 80s came out of desperation more than desire, as Disney blew through a significant amount of capital constructing Epcot, and was using this licensing agreement to help fund the completion of the park. Which, of course, leaves us with several questions. Why is Disney doing this, and why now? What will a Disney resort in Abu Dhabi even look like? And is this bound to be just another abandoned video covered by Jake from Bright Sun Films in 5 years' time? Let's find out.
So firstly, why Abu Dhabi? This question, more than anything, seems to be at the forefront of most people's minds. I've seen many a Disney fan in an uproar about the fact that this isn't going to the US, Europe, the UK, Australia, or Singapore. Abu Dhabi at first seems like an extremely strange choice until you realize that 1/4 of the world's population is within a 2-hour flight of this proposed destination. Much to our dismay, Disney is by and large a business, and a resort in this location reaches new guests from continental Africa, India, the Middle East, Southern Europe, and parts of Asia. Disney themselves have mentioned that many people from these regions are income qualified, which is a disgusting way of saying that they have the money to afford what Disney is offering. But their other resorts are simply too far away. This resort brings Disney closer to them, helping them earn more money on a global scale. I would imagine that India is also a big influence on Disney's decision to place a park here. With over 1.4 billion people in that country alone, Disney is missing out on a huge amount of potential guests by not having something within their reach. Disneyland Mumbai and Disneyland New Delhi have been rumored for as long as I've been paying attention. And with a population of that scale, it was never a matter of if, it was a matter of when. The United Arab Emirates is also a major international tourism destination and travel hub for much of the world, connecting Africa, Oceania, Europe, and Asia. The UAE welcomed 28 million international visitors in 2023 alone. By placing a resort here, Disney is not just capitalizing on locals, but also those visiting and those passing through. Considering that a vast majority of the guests will be international tourists, many of whom are from Western nations, Disney needs to approach this project very differently from how they did for their last resort, Shanghai Disneyland. Shanghai was geared heavily towards Chinese tourism, since most people visiting would be Chinese. It was designed for those who have never experienced Disney before, but Disney Abu Dhabi will almost be the opposite. This means balancing a tightrope of the authentic Disney experience whilst also introducing enough new attractions and offerings that make it worthwhile for somebody who has already likely gone to a Disney theme park. So, what might that look like?
As is often the case with large announcements like this, details are sparse, and the announcement has more flowery language than concrete plans. According to Bob Iger, as our 7th theme park destination, it will rise from this land in spectacular fashion, blending contemporary architecture with cutting-edge technology, and will be authentically Disney and distinctly Emirati, a phrase he loves to use, as he used almost the exact same one countless times in the Shanghai Disneyland planning and construction phases. It's been burnt into my mind from the amount of times he said it.
Shanghai Disneyland is authentically Disney and distinctly Chinese.
Distinctly Chinese.
The park, hotels, and other amenities will be located along the waterfront at Yas Island. And due to the country's harsh weather conditions, large portions of the park will be built either indoors or under expansive cover. One of the only clear things we can make out of the purposefully vague concept art is a modern crystal castle clearly designed for next-generation projection mapping shows. And it is rumored to be based on the castle from the upcoming Frozen 3 film. A strange choice for a desert-based theme park, but perhaps it might be more refreshing and cooling to look at? Who knows? So who are the people with seemingly infinite depth pockets who will be paying Disney for the right to build and operate this resort? Miral Group is an Abu Dhabi-based company specializing in the creation of leisure and entertainment destinations. Like most similar companies in the region, they are a government-backed developer who is trying to make the region's main income stream entertainment and tourism due to the waning need for oil in the modern world. Miral already owns and operates multiple hotels, entertainment offerings, and 3 theme parks, being Ferrari World, Warner Brothers World, and SeaWorld Abu Dhabi. All of these projects are contained on Yas Island, one of the largest tourism projects in Abu Dhabi. As mentioned before, the biggest takeaway from this project is that the new resort will be fully developed and built by Miral. Disney and its Imagineers will lead creative design and operational oversight to provide a world-class experience at little to no financial risk for the company. As far as Disney is concerned, this is just printing free money for them. Unlike in Tokyo, where Disney still leads the construction processes of the new rides, shows, and attractions, in Abu Dhabi, all of that will even be undertaken by Miral. Now, just a year back, Disney announced a $60 billion investment into their parks, resorts, and experiences. I've seen a lot of people online say that this is a waste of that money. But Disney isn't putting a cent into Abu Dhabi. And this is probably how a lot of that $60 billion will be actually funded, allowing Disney to expand its own resorts around the world thanks to these licensing fees. A ride becomes a whole lot cheaper to install in their existing theme parks when you have a company with practically infinite pockets funding its R&D. While most other UAE-based entertainment resorts seem to be struggling, Miral seems to be doing decently. Only a few weeks ago, they announced record-breaking visitation of 38 million guests across their parks and resorts over 2024, and said plans are underway for a new coaster at Ferrari World that will break 4 worldwide records, alongside multiple new attractions for Warner Brothers, which is supposedly also getting a Harry Potter expansion very soon. Now, with a bit of research and popping our two noggins together, we have some best guesses as to what the park may and may not be if it ever actually opens. The park is likely to be a similar size to Hong Kong Disneyland, or around 310 acres, which will make it tied for the smallest Magic Kingdom-style park. There'll be themed hotels, because no major theme park is open without them, but we have no idea on what they might be. With a countrywide population of half the amount of people who go to the Magic Kingdom every year, this park will clearly be focused on international travelers and not locals. The park is also set to focus on technology and innovation in ways never before seen in a Disney park. We've heard this same spiel for almost every new Disney park, but when you look around the UAE, they do have a lot of very cool technology. I honestly doubt that Miral is interested in any of the classic attractions, which opens the door to new iterations of what we know and love, similar to how Shanghai innovated their Pirates of the Caribbean ride to be a breathtaking, modern masterpiece and probably the best boat ride in the world. We may get the same for the likes of the Haunted Mansion or Big Thunder Mountain, or who knows. If anything, I do think this will be a Disney theme park unlike any other, and I'm incredibly curious to see what they produce. Both Miral and Disney would be idiots to waste this opportunity.
Of course, this announcement hasn't exactly been received well by the general public and has generated quite a bit of controversy. Disney has long supported diversity, equity, and inclusion by endorsing events such as gay days, having pride nights within their parks, offering pride merchandise, and introducing more inclusive themes within their films and media. Many are wondering why Disney would put a park in a part of the world that seemingly goes against these values. Now look, we know the true answer.
Oh, they drove a dump truck full of money up to my house. I'm not made of stone.
But for a company that has inclusion as one of the 5 keys that form a pillar of values, it is a strange announcement to morally stand behind. A Disney park in a country is an endorsement of that country. This is Disney saying, we see you, and we don't care. As a business, Disney will do what makes them money. Pride nights and their Pride merchandise are just revenue opportunities for them. Sure, they carry a message, but they're not giving this away for free. They will stand behind and market scenes of inclusion within their media in one region, and then drop the same scene in another region to ensure maximum audience attendance. Disney will support what makes them money because money is the only language that shareholders speak. Now, ultimately, we're a theme park-focused channel, and while there are many legitimate and serious criticisms of this project, I don't believe we're the right platform to explore them in depth. There are organizations and far more resources and expertise equipped to properly investigate and address those issues. Our focus is theme parks, and within that lens, this move by Disney still raises eyebrows. It's a surprising reversal from a company that just a few years ago saw its film Lightyear banned in the UAE over a brief background same-sex kiss. Now that same company is announcing a park in that very region. The dissonance is hard to ignore. While it's disappointing to see Disney sideline its stated values and community for the sake of expansion, it's sadly not at all surprising. This isn't the first time the company has prioritized business over principle. Less than a decade ago, Disney opened Shanghai Disneyland, despite China consistently ranking lower than the United Arab Emirates on most human rights indexes. When profits are at stake, the company's moral compass often seems negotiable. At the same time, it's possible, however cautiously optimistic one might be, that this partnership could become a learning opportunity. Working with Disney might encourage a more open, gradual embrace of diversity and inclusion in a region where those ideas are still highly restricted. It could plant seeds of broader cultural shifts, but let's be clear, that's not a guarantee. Only time will tell if this move leads to meaningful progress or just another sanitized facade, and it becomes clear that if nothing changes, if this turns out to be yet another case of values being shelved for profit, then the responsibility shifts to us. Voice your opinion with your wallet, especially when dealing with those that listen to little else.
Which brings us to the ultimate question. Do we think it will happen? Or will it go the same way as countless other theme parks in the Middle East? Some people might argue that Disney is a little more careful in their announcements than other companies. But historically, that is far from the truth. Disney has multiple publicly announced theme parks that have never seen the light of day, such as Westcott and Disney Sea in California, Disney MGM Studios Europe, Disney's America for Virginia, and Walt Disney's Riverfront Square in Missouri.
Ultimately, I feel this has more chance of happening compared to any of those, but we also note that the concept art seems to be even more vague than we've seen in the past, which could suggest a park being constructed in such a way that Disney can rip out their licensing agreement at any opportunity. With planning and designing still set to take 2 years and then at least another 3 to 5 years for construction, it's going to be at least 2030 to 2032 before we even have a chance of seeing this park. What we do know for sure is that by the time this park is opened, Bob Iger will be no longer the CEO, and the true difficulties in this project will be someone else's problems. But over to you. What are your thoughts on Disney Abu Dhabi? Do you think this will actually happen? And if so, are you gonna go? For Review Time, I'm Dom.
For Review Time, I'm Luke.
Thanks for watching.